Hi, this is Daniel Shanahan from New Leaf Data, and I had this situation happen a couple of times in the last few months, so I thought I'd make a screencast. This is a question about FileMaker and how to limit a user's view of certain records. So I'm starting out with this arbitrary flow. We have a CEO named Abigail, and she's in charge of 3 vice presidents, Bob, Betty, and Bart. They each have their own sales team. Each of the sales team has clients, company A, company B, and so forth. And what we'd like to do is show so that when we're on Corey's record, Corey can only see his companies, and he can't see anybody else's companies. But when we're on Bart's record, we want to be able to see all of Cindy's clients and all of Corey's clients. And then when we're on Abigail's record, we want to see everybody. So this is one way to go about doing that. Okay, here's my FileMaker database, very simple. And I have, let's look at the tables first of all. I have my individuals table, so these are all the people we have. And I have a self relationship so that we could see who the person's manager is and who the manager's direct reports are. And then I have a sales, really a simple foreign key. So these are the foreign key for the salespeople, and these are the companies. It's pretty straightforward. Now when I'm in the database, I can scroll through the records, and if somebody has direct reports, I could see them there. And of course the salespeople do not have direct reports, but they do have sales, so I could see them there. And I have a little global field here, so I can log in very quickly. So I can log in as Clyde, or I could log in as Betty. And let's see, and the idea is that when I'm logged in, we'll go back to Abigail. When I'm logged in, I want to be able to see a client list of everybody. But when but that narrows down. So now I'm Bob, and as you recall, Bob should be able to see companies A through E from his sales team. Let's see if that works, and it does. And then we have no access here. And then if I go to Connie, who's a member of Bob's sales team, then I come to this list and I can only see those records. Now I'm doing this with, let's see, I have to come back here to Abigail and security, and I have a couple of privilege sets here. Here's my sales team. Everything else is pretty standard. Customize the sales team. And so in organizations, I'm limiting what I could see. So as you know, you have the drop down, and you can click limited, and then you have a calculation box here. And so what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the person's individual ID and storing it in a global variable. And I'll show you where I do that. I do that in a script. And so for the sales team, I simply equate that to the foreign key. And with a quick note here, I could do show me just the records that I've created, but I don't think that works for this particular example, because we could say that Carol created company A and B and C, and so she could only see those. But what happens if Bob decides to move company A over to Connie, and so removes that there. But so now Connie can't see this, even though it's part of her sales clients, because Carol made it. So it doesn't quite work in this scenario. But if it does work in your scenario, this is another option. And let's see, then for the vice president, again, I have custom privileges and organization, and I limit that. And now this is the self-relationship. The self-relationship foreign key is again to the global ID. So that's all it really takes to and here's the login. This is where I am setting the foreign key, the global ID. I do a quick perform find here that you can see there. It's pretty simple. And that's how that works. So the only other thing then is when we look at somebody, let's look at somebody a little different, like Bart. So we look at Bart and we could see all of Bart's lists, but there's this is rather ugly, this no access. So another way to do that is I have a different layout, and the way that I'm doing that is I simply do a find. So I do a find on everything, and because it's limited, FileMaker is only going to show the records that a person can see. So 2 scripts, pretty simple scripts, and the bulk of it is happening in the security with the new privilege set, and it's in the record custom privileges in that table, and we're limiting with this calculation dialog, and that's how that happens.